Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM online at sasportstar.com. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a game day for the San Antonio Spurs. Game 83. Spurs on the road against the New Orleans Pelicans. It's not a playoff game, but it ain't a regular season game. It's win or go home. Let's talk about it with the great Sean Elliott. It's been too long, my friend. How's your day?
I know. What's happening? What's up, Jason? And hey, Joe Reinagle's there with you? Because I haven't seen him all year.
Sean, what's happening?
Not the same without you, buddy.
Man, I miss you too, bud. I really do. The Spurs broadcasts were a lot of fun. But yeah, you're holding down the fort okay. You doing all right?
Yeah, doing okay. I'm trying to hold it down for you.
and I heard you a couple of weeks ago still making fun of Reinagle's hair. So, I mean, even though he's not a part of the team anymore, he's still a part of the team.
He's with us in comedy and spirit.
Man, really appreciate you coming on with us, Sean. It's good to talk to you, my friend. I got to ask about this game tonight. I mean, this young Spurs team has really done something special and now has a chance to continue to do something special. How do you feel about tonight's game?
I'm concerned because even though we won the season series against them, we never really played them at full strength. We never played them with C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram, and those guys create so many problems for us. And of all the games this year where we didn't play well against New Orleans at home. The last time we played them at home, there was the one game this year where I drove away from the arena and I was just disappointed in our performance and the way we played. And that was the one where we were down early, big time, and then we just never got back in it. And so it was like a 30-point game. And we were down by even 40 at one point. So that concerns me. Their perimeter defenders concern me a little bit because they have guys that can really get after you. They have a guy in C.J. McCollum who's, had deep runs in the playoffs, and he's been farther than any guy on our team. So that has me concerned. But the other part of it is when you look at the way we've played after the All-Star break, we've been fantastic. And I think if you looked at our team now and you started the season off with them, the way they've played over the last month and a half, 2 months, I mean, you're talking about a team that is 6th or 7th in the Western Conference as opposed to 10th. And so our guys are playing the right way at the right time. And if we're focused tonight and we take care of the basketball, we rebound, and we defend and we make smart decisions, I like our chances to win.
Sean Elliott joining us here on the Blitz from Spurs TV. Obviously, his numbers in the rafters up there. And you mentioned, Sean, the way this team has played the last several weeks. Go back to the beginning of the year you were on, and we talked about goals for this team wasn't necessarily playoffs. It was just don't make the same mistakes in November, December as you are in February, March, and getting into April. And we've seen that improvement. That's why I think no matter what happens tonight, this is going to be a successful season for the Spurs because we have seen that growth. But that said, I still don't trust this team enough. I think if they win by double digits, I wouldn't be surprised. If they lost by double digits, I don't know that I would be surprised. How concerning is that for you?
It's concerning, but, I will say again that the way we have played the last couple months of the season, we've been in every game except for that one game here against New Orleans. So I feel like even if we fall down early and we're down, 10, 15, or maybe it's a 20-point blitz and we're down, we've always, at least in the last couple months, we've always found our way back into a game and we've made it interesting. So, we've watched the team grow so much from the beginning of the year, and I said it lots of times, like you talked about, where you didn't want to see the same mistakes. And I thought we gave away 6 to 8 games, somewhere like that, at the beginning of the season because of our mistakes and our youth and our inexperience. I didn't see that the second half of the year. And so I don't feel like we're making the same mistakes. I feel like this team has grown by leaps and bounds, and I just feel really good about our chances no matter what. Even if we get down early, I just really have a lot of confidence in the way our guys have handled late game situations.
You know, Sean, as a player, let me ask you this. These young players have grown. Obviously, everybody knows what DeJounte Murray has done. This guy is just taking a leaps and bounds improvement. He's a bona fide star in the NBA now. But you look at the other guys too, and just even if it just turns out that it's one extra game, how beneficial is that for a young player?
It's huge. It's huge for our guys to, have accomplishes, to get into the play-in game and boost their confidence. And the fact that they get a playoff type atmosphere, that just, it's only going to make our guys better in the long run. Because, one other teams at the bottom, like the Houston Rockets or the Sacramento Kings, they're not getting that valuable experience. So they don't have something that can kind of springboard them going forward next year, whereas our guys find themselves in the situation where they were in last year, a must-win game, and it just puts a lot more pressure on you, makes you focus a lot more, and you just learn from those experiences, and it's something that's valuable for us that other teams, aren't going to have the opportunity to have.
As you think about, and for the record, neither Joe or I were ever on Team Tank, but a lot of people were. I like this experience for this team. If you're watching last night, you saw how Minnesota reacted. Now, I don't expect if the Spurs win tonight, when the Spurs win tonight, they're not going to jump on the scorer's table and cut down the Nets down in New Orleans. But but you could tell how much a young team values this kind of experience, the NCAA tournament feel of one and done, win in advance.
Yeah, and I think our young guys are going to embrace that pressure. And it's something that they talked about the last couple of weeks. Like, yeah, we want to play in that play-in game. That's what we're playing for. So they got what they wanted. I don't think they're going to miss or pass up their opportunity. And I believe that they win the game, they're going to just say, hey, on to the next one. That's their mentality right now. So I don't see any type of extended celebration. I don't see that at all. I think our guys are a little bit more mature than that. And they're going to realize that, hey, we're not going to spend our energy celebrating. This one's over with. Build a brick wall behind us and go on to the next one, and let's go beat the Clippers.
Yeah, quite frankly, Sean, I kind of like the matchup against the Clippers. If the Spurs can get past this ball game, I like that matchup. And then, who knows? You get in there and get more experience as you go. And obviously it's Phoenix, and Phoenix is probably head and shoulders above everybody else right now. But, what the heck? You never know. You play the ball game. When you look at this Spurs team, besides DeJounte Murray, who have you seen develop maybe not better than you thought, but at a pretty good pace?
Wow. I mean, where do I start? I think I've seen the best development actually after our trade in mid-February of Derek White, because you open up more space for Devin Vassell to move forward. You give Lonnie Walker a lot more playing time as the sixth man, and I've seen good development out of Josh Primo as well. But I would say of all those guys, I would even say DeJounte Murray, because even after being named an All-Star, he really, really took off and he backed it up. But I would say for me, it's probably Devin or Lonnie. Those two guys have really played outstanding basketball in the last half of the season. Both of them have been really consistent. You look at their numbers, they're scoring about the same amount every single game, maybe have an off game here or there, and that's expected. But for the most part, those guys have really grown into their roles, and I believe that they can get even much better. So I'm excited for both those guys.
Sean Elliott joining us here on the Blitz, talking Spurs Pelicans tonight in the play-in game. As you talk about guys developing, what about the impact that Josh Richardson has made on this team since he's come over in the trade?
Yeah, he's been terrific. I went to a coach's dinner after, I think it was the Utah game. We were celebrating the big win, and I just said something like, hey, Josh Richardson, he's got some dog in him. And all the assistant coach was like, yeah. I mean, they just started chirping and chiming in about him. And it's apparent that they just love him because he brings a little bit of an edge that we didn't have, that our guys just didn't have. We have a lot of nice guys on the team, but sometimes you need that junkyard dog. And that's Josh. He gets after people on the defensive end. He's not afraid on the offensive end. He's been shooting the ball really well. And that's a guy that's just been, he's made us defensively better. There's no question about it, because it's just his energy, his know-how on that end of the floor kind of rubs off on all the young guys. You can't talk enough or overstate how much he means to the team.
Sounds like you're talking about Mario Elliott back in the day.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. That's a perfect comparison. Perfect.
Sean, we're all experts, right? I mean, you played the game, so you've got some credibility that Jason and I don't have, and the rest of Spurs social media warriors don't have. So I'm going to ask you this question. This is a young group of Spurs, a lot of young guys on this team. When you go out, and I know the Spurs have some money to spend this offseason, they've got some draft capital. Doesn't a team like this benefit from some veteran leadership like a Josh Richardson, or go out and find a guy that meshes with a young group like that can kind of take this team to the next level?
Yeah, no question. No question. It's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging, I should say, for our guys to bring in 3 young draft picks next year. I know that they can make it work, but you're bringing in 3, guys that you've got to develop again. And it'd be nice if you're able to land some guys in free agency. We've got Doug McDermott, but obviously he's hurt for the rest of the season. Josh Richardson's is definitely been beneficial for us, but those are the guys that have really the most experience. And it helps if you get a nice blend of veterans who can continue to show guys the ropes or show them the nuances of the game, especially when it comes playoff time. Guys that have been there, been in pressure situations and performed. And so, I love that we've kind of done it organically, and we've raised all these guys, these young guys from pups. But it doesn't hurt to have those guys around, like a Josh Richardson and Doug McDermott. Only 2 of them right now that we have that much experience, but it wouldn't hurt to have a few more guys that have been there.
Very true. Sean Elliott joining us here on the Blitz. Spurs Pelicans tonight, a winner go home kind of game. It's elimination. Spurs lose, the season is over. I expect the Spurs to win. Sounds like all 3 of us do. But if New Orleans gets the win and they get to go play New Orleans, we know this is going to be, or could be, if the Spurs lose, the last game for Becky Hammon on the bench as she goes to take over as the head coach of the Las Vegas WNBA franchise. But, Sean, how much should we watch this game tonight and think about, is it possibly Gregg Popovich's last game?
I think that's going to be on a lot of people's minds. I feel like this team has made Pop feel younger. You can't say young again, just younger. They have his juices flowing. He's been super excited to coach them. And I think, even of all the years outside the championship years, I would be willing to bet that he's had the most fun with this group. But I don't know if that's enough right now. I really don't. I don't know. He hasn't said anything to me. I know a lot of people around him. I can't speculate. But Pop has his hands in a lot of things, and he's accomplished so much. He got his ultimate accomplishment last summer, leading Team USA to a gold medal. I think that was the last thing that was on his bucket list. He got the all-time wins. So, I would not be shocked to see him walk away from it, but you'd have to ask him. Everybody gets emotional at the end of the season, especially if it doesn't end the way you want. And I think Pop is smart enough to know that he's going to take some time and reflect on the season and see if he wants to come back and run it back one more time.
Well, I find that interesting, Sean, that you say that. And I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I would like to see Pop come back, however, and finish the job that he started. Because if you look at the job that I think, especially over the last couple of years with this young basketball team, I think Pop has done some of the best coaching in his entire career. And you look at this year, maybe one of the best jobs. I mean, you had the big 3. You had Sean Elliott for a long time. He had to develop these young guys. And, man, I just think he's done a fantastic job.
I agree 1,000%. I feel like he's done the best job that I've seen. With the young guys and bringing them along and teaching them and showing them how to win games. And he's really done a great job just developing all these young guys. So, I would like to see him hang around for a little bit longer, a couple more years, to see these guys get even better and develop whoever young stud we get in the draft this year. If we do get any, I'd love to see that happen. And you're right. I would like to see him get a chance to take another team into a real playoff situation and have, an opportunity where a team has to beat you 4 times. And let him do his thing again. That's what I would love to see.
Absolutely. And I think if he did retire, it'd be like Tom Brady. 40 days of boredom and he'd be right back to work. That's how.
You might be right.
I'm done. We'll get, the 2-sentence press release from the Spurs that Pop has decided to retire. No fanfare, and then he'll realize, well, this sucks. I got to go back to work. I got to do something. Yeah. Sean, before we let you go, Chief Wood sent me a text to say hello for your Tucson buddy, trying to figure out what restaurants you've made reservations for in Phoenix already. Have you?
No, I have not yet. I'm waiting to see, but I'm really hopeful.
Well, I guess I should ask you this. If and when the Spurs get the Phoenix Suns in the first round, I assume local TV, you and Bill Land will get the call, but will you get to actually go to Phoenix or will you have to stay home?
Well, they're telling us that if we do make the playoffs, that we're going to travel.
Oh,
so
nice.
I haven't traveled. We haven't traveled as a TV crew since the season was postponed in 2020. So we've done all the games. We've been maybe the only team that has not traveled the whole time. And so, it brings more to the game when you're there on the sidelines and you can see the nuances of the game. You can see the communication between the players and the coaches, as opposed to, we're calling the game in a pod, and at halftime, you don't get any footage. You don't know what's going on. You don't see any interactions. And so you're just you're a prisoner to the cameraman or another production truck in another city that may or may give you what you want. So it makes it a little bit harder. And so it would be interesting to travel and kind of feel that atmosphere in Phoenix. And I'm hopeful that happens.
I tell you, knowing what you guys have gone through, it's seamless. And we do this for a living, Joe and I. And sometimes it's hard to tell you guys aren't in the arena where the game is actually being played. You guys do a fantastic job, you and the entire crew.
That's our truck. Those guys, and Kick, our director of broadcasting, they have to ham and egg it sometimes, and you'd be shocked. I mean, that little pod is actually just a little container that we're calling games out of, and we're somehow making it happen because those guys put in a lot of work, and we're just being very creative as to how we can bring the best experience to the fans.
Well, we kind of figured why you're hanging around, because there's a chance that you're going to have to call those games in Phoenix and that first round series. Otherwise, you'd be on a beach somewhere right now, wouldn't you?
That's coming. That's coming. You'll need GPS to find me in about 3 weeks.
Hey, Sean, you've been ducking me on the golf course, man. I got more time to play golf now. I know you're scared and all, but I think that matchup's going to have to happen.
Well, the truth of the matter is I am scared, Joe. Because one of my friends who played with you said, hey, that Joe Reinagle, he could hit the ball, boy, he could really hit it. And I was like, man, Joe's been sandbagging on me. And then when I talked to you, you're like, yeah, I played a little bit when I was young. I was like, oh, okay, that's always the giveaway. I'm not about to let you in my pockets just yet.
Somehow, I think you would take all of Reinagle's money on a golf course, Sean.
I don't know. Give me a little time. I've been working on it, but scores are down. I'm getting back to where I'm not going to say, because I don't want anybody to know, but the scores are coming down. Most of the time now there's not an 8 in front of my final score.
Then you'll definitely take Reinagle's money. He's got 9s.
Yeah.
I still got triple digits. It's all good.
Sean, great talking to you, my friend. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Anytime, man.
Appreciate it. The great Sean Elliott joining us here on the Blitz. Always fun catching up with Sean.